Hello, I am Pam, and this is my channel made by Pam. So, today I am taking apart a pair of pants. Just like it says, a deconstruction of a pair of pants. So, we're going to go ahead and get started here, I think. So just a couple minutes ago, just so you know, my internet decided that it was going to disconnect. But it's good now, though. Let's see. I'm just playing with my phone real quick. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and scan you down so you can watch. My main reason for doing this is so that I can look back on it if I have questions when it comes back to the reconstruction after I get the pattern made. So I'm going to go ahead and scan you down with my little scan tool there. Alright. And hopefully I can stay in focus and so you can see what I'm doing. I think the first part that is going to need to be done is taking off the waistband. And if the pants do get a little bit of a hole in it, it's okay. Just because this already has holes in it anyways. Like I've got a hole here and we've got a hole here. So a hole in it's not going to be the end of the world. But I need to unattach all of these belt loops. And then one of them I will have to like fully take it apart so that it can be used. So let's count how many is here first. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7 belt loops. So where did I put my notebook? Here's a notebook right here that I can use. But what? I have like so many notes in here. Oh my goodness. Okay. I have a busy life sometimes. Or I just use this. Actually, I'll just use this. So I'm going to go ahead and write 7 belt loops. Because I need to keep track of this as I'm going so I can go back and look on it. So now we will go through and deattach all these. And I'm just going to use my X-Acto knife. So just beware, I am using a sharp tool. But it makes great for unpicking things, especially something like that. Got that disconnected. I want to make sure that I can hear myself. Yep, I'm there. Okay, want to make sure that I was coming in loud and clear. Okay. check my screen every once in a while and make sure that I can see what I'm doing here. Now, if I could do double screens, I would, but I'm not paying for StreamYard. I use StreamYard sometimes, but I'm not paying for it. And right now, I'm just doing it with the YouTube Studio. So, okay. I'm also going to write that second belt loop is attached to side seam. Okay. And if I went back and watched this, I would see that, but having it written down, and then the rear center belt loop is attached to rear center seam. Okay. Well, the rear center belt loop is attached to center seam. I went ahead and wrote that down. I want to make sure my chat's working. All right. I know I haven't done a live in a long time. I just get busy, preoccupied type thing, you know? It's life. This is an olive collar pants. Does it look olive? It looks more gray to me. But my dad has worn these a lot. Trying to decide what back section piece I want to undo. Guess I'll undo this section. Like where I want to start. So I'm not going to undo like both sides of the pants. I have to undo the whole belt loop. But one section of the pants I'm going to try to keep constructed together. Just for a reference point. If that makes sense. Like my favorite unpicking tool is an X-Acto knife. And this green one, I got off of Temu last year. And then I looked for it again, and they didn't have them anymore, or they weren't in stock. And I could get it off of Amazon, another one off of Amazon, but I wasn't going to pay $7. But this one works really good. Having a retractable X-Acto knife is like the best ever. I love it. And the thing is, I can put any blade in there I want. Like, that fits an X-Acto knife type thing. It's very nice. So these ones are a rounded knife. So it's not like all pointy at the end. It's just kind of rounded. Now I have a couple pieces of fabric picked out that I will be using to make the new pairs. I have like 5 pieces, I think. So when I'm all done unpicking and get the pattern ready to use for the new pants, I'll have 5 pairs to cut out. Now, do I cut them all out and have all the pieces ready and do like a batch sewing? And do step by step? That might be an option, huh? I'm looking at this, a lot of it looks like it's done with the chain stitch. Like, see, that's not even gonna work going that way. It goes that other way though, so why I'm wasting. It might have been done with the chain stitch sewing machine, one of those industrial machines. But I'm going to go ahead and start over on this edge, because if I can just pull it. Now I have a machine that will do a chain stitch, but it's my serger machine. And I'm thinking that I can make it just do a chain stitch. Because I can do a 5-stitch, like safety stitch type thing, 5 thread. And that does the chain stitch along with the serging stitch. So I'm thinking that maybe I don't know. I'll have to look at my book and see. It probably does though. I probably have an option just to do the chain stitch. I'd have to practice it on. Because after all is said and done with this, like some of these seams, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 6 layers of denim. in this that has to be stitched. Okay, I was just kind of looking at that. So when I do this and I take the waistband, I will take the front part and I will tuck it under this edge. See, it's kind of tucked in there a little bit. Because I know that I will be going back and rewatching this as I go. Okay, so what they did on here before is they top stitched along this edge all the way to the end before they took that in, and they tucked it in like that. Well, that's good to know. Although you could easily put it on there and then do the top stitching after. But I understand the reasoning behind doing the top stitching before you do that, because then it's going to be where it needs to be, if that makes sense. Okay. Look at that. Yay! Sometimes pulling on chain stitches like this doesn't always work, but I'm glad it did work on this. I'm glad that chain stitch did the right thing, because sometimes you get some that don't want to unravel themselves. But if with the chain stitch I could do that, see, look at that, yay! Know how much easier it's going to make it to unpick that? There. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? Then, granted, I still got to pull this other side on the back side. That's the beauty of doing a chain stitch. My hands are a little bit dry, so stuff likes to stick to them. Threads and fabric. Alright. I don't know how long I'll be going on this. Probably just long enough to unpick and deconstruct this pair of pants. And I still got this other part I still got to do. Because that's where it was like stitched over. Maybe what they did is they did the chain stitch and then they turned the pants around and chain stitched like a back stitch type thing. That would make sense. At least it makes sense to me. All right. We're almost done taking apart the waistband of the cargo pants. Sounds like somebody just got home. All right, so that part is ready. All right. So I am going to need to take off each of these belt loops. But I'm thinking positioning wise, let's see, that 1, 2, 3, 4. Four inches. First loop, 4 inches. In. And then so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Second loop. Hi.
Aaron kept trying to get me to go with him to go see Harmon.
Oh, I'm doing a live too.
Huh?
Just so you know.
Oh, okay.
Third loop is 16.5 inches in. Okay. Is that right? Yeah, 16.5. And then next one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see, 16.5. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. and a half. And it may not end up being that exact later. And I think that will make it to the center belt loop. Yeah. Then from the other side, that has the button. So it'd be the 7th loop. This side, let's start from buttonhole. And then 7th loop goes at button. Okay. And so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 5.5. Well, pretty much 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's just go 6 inches in from button. Okay, no, from edge. Okay. And I guess the second loop, it really isn't going to matter per se, because the second loop is automatically going to be hooked up to the sight seam. Pretty much. If my machine will do it. Because it's not an industrial machine. Not like the machines that they have at the factories. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Well, that's 12 inches in. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. And 5th is 17 inches in. Okay. And it doesn't have to stay exactly like that. Like a little bit of give or take, you know? But I will have to remove all of these because I'm going to have to open up the loop, the waistband. Yeah. All right. And kids are home playing on the computers. And husband is home. He'll find something to do upstairs, I'm sure. Okay. I guess I really don't need to remove all of that. Now I am going to need to take off this though, because it's going to have to be removed. But if I just take and measure it in, it's about 1.5 inches in. So place button, 1.5 inches in waistband. And then the button loop, buttonhole, it starts at about the buttonhole starts at 1/2 inch and goes to so basically buttonhole is 1 inch. So 1 inch buttonhole. And I will be using number 34 on my machine. Use buttonhole stitch 34 on machine. Okay. Got that written down. Hi, Joy. How are you? I'm tearing this apart and I am writing down information as I go. But I want to record this so that when I go back, like if I have trouble reconstructing the pants later on, I can go back and watch it just so I can look at my notes if I need to. Band of the pants. And a lot of it was attached with the chain stitch on the waistband. So I'm kind of contemplating, because I have my Husqvarna Viking S25, so my serger, but it also has the chain stitch, like when I do a 5-stitch safety stitch serging option. It had just chain stitch as that 5th thread. So if I took, I'm thinking I could do just a chain stitch with that to attach some of this, maybe? I'm not 100% certain, but I think it would be kind of cool. I've never tried it before on my machine. But I love having my machine set up for that 5-thread safety stitch that does that chain stitch as I'm serging also when I'm constructing something. All right. It's good to see you on. Joining me, Joy. Hope everything has been going good for you. It's not too cold up there where you are in Canada. I know it can get super cold. In Utah, it hasn't been too bad these last couple days. Trying to see if it's going the right way. No. I take it from this other end. I'm trying to see if I can just pull this chain stitch from one side. But it just depends on what side you start pulling from. Well, I don't think my theory of being able to like pull that all the way is going to work. I should write down on this really quick. So I'm going to write down top stitch, Can't even spell today. 1/8 of an inch in on top of waistband. Because I want to make these look as professional as I can for my dad. Yes, I am taking these apart and I'm going to use it for a pattern. And then I'm going to use, like I have 5 different fabrics that I'm going to cut up to use for the 5 pants. So I'm making my dad, basically I'm making him 5 pairs of cargo shorts. Because I looked, pretty sure you watched my video, but I looked at my patterns. I'm like, yeah, I don't like any of those patterns that I have. Granted, I didn't have a whole lot. I didn't like them to make him a pair of cargo pants. So I messaged him and says, hey, because I talked to my sister. And I told him, I'm like, it would make things easier if I could just use one of your old pairs that are wearing out as a template. Oh, that's cool, Joy. Because you have the same serger, right? You have the S25? But I think it would, you know. Well, because my dad, he could have gone to the store, you know, and he could have purchased new pairs of pants. But they cost upwards of $40+ for a new pair of pants. Well, most of the fabric that I have, I got from the thrift store. And so I would say for like the cost of the fabric itself that I paid, granted, if I was to have gone and purchased the fabric from the actual fabric store, it would cost me over $100 just to purchase the fabric itself to make the pants. But maybe $30 worth of fabric. So won't be too bad. All right, so now I really need to remove this button. As much as I hate doing that, I need to do it. Because it has to be done. You're in for a lot of rain. Oh, you're usually sleeping at this time? And you're awake? So, is it 10:25 where you're at, Joy? I think it is, right? Because you guys are, Mountain Standard Time type thing, or is it like Eastern time or Central, or, well, it could be 9:26 where you are. It could be 10:26. It could be 11:26, or it could be 12:26. So that's why you're able to stay up and you're sewing at night when William's on. Like, sometimes I'm able to stay up the whole time that he's on, and other times I'm just too tired. But that's usually on the Mondays and the Wednesdays, because I have to get up in the mornings and take kids to school. All right. I got that button removed. And I just left a big hole in the thing, which is just fine. So I need to measure waistband crosswise. So it's going to be like, well, got to remove a little bit more of this top stitching here, or I'm not going to get an accurate measurement. Okay. Hi, Angie. Good to see you, lady. Yes, I'm finally doing a live. It's been forever. I know. So this is going to be 4.5 inches. Waist band width, 4.5 inches. Okay, and then kind of look and see what my seam allowance is here. It looks like that's 1/2 inch. That's 1/2 inch. Okay, so fold in 1/2 inch on sides. Oh wow, that's cool, Joy. Yeah, it has been a long time, Angie. You know, the mom life. Okay. Well, this one isn't quite in as much. And so obviously they didn't keep the same width along the whole thing, obviously. But it is the 4.5 inches. Okay. Now I'm just going to be off screen for a little tiny bit because I need to take and measure this from one end of my board to the other. And it would help if I actually had it on a straight line. 47. Okay. So 47-inch waistband. But then it also folds in. There's a 1/2 inch there, and then this other side folds in the 1/2 inch. Okay. 1/2" folds on both ends. Also, it's 9:30 there. Okay, Joy. So you're the same time zone as William. Oh, okay. You're all high tech, Joy. So the pants, they are like for the sizing on the pants, they say a 42. Okay. And this obviously measured a 47. But you've also got to realize that when you pull it in, you got that extra. So 47, that's 46. So if you take the 46 and you fold it in, you got the 1.5 inches there for the button. And you've got the 1/2 inch there. Okay. Yeah, British Columbia. So, yeah, the 46 minus that, that's 45. 44. So it's technically like a 44-inch waistband, not a 42. But that's okay. We will make it work. That's why I'm using my dad's old pair, because then I can make sure that they fit like they do on him. And then this is the, yes, Angie, I'm using an X-Acto knife, a sharp tool, just so you know. I was going to use it. Looks like what they did on this is they did like I'm not using it now, Angie. I just have my seam ripper. What they did on this, they did the cover stitch, or like the double stitch, which zigzags. Which, so if I did my twin needle on my sewing machine when I'm doing this part, and I'm stitching these together, they have it overlapped a little bit, okay, because I'm stepping through this because I want to make sure that I get each piece like it needs to be. All right. Because I try to use my cover stitch on my serger, and my cover stitch on my serger just does not work very well. That I just decided that I like it using the 5-stitch with the chain stitch. But I haven't used the chain stitch by itself. And I'm trying to open this up. Yeah. Yeah, I hate ripping out too. But for this, I'm willing to do that because I'm just deconstructing. I'm doing it with this kind of fabric's not too bad. Like if you had to do it with like fabric like my shirt's made out of this, that would be a pain having to unpick all that. Granted, I made my shirt, but yeah, if you had to unpick. All right. I'm almost done taking this belt loop apart. Because that's what I'm taking apart is belt loops. Well, you don't realize how long it takes to take something apart. But I want to make sure that I take it apart and get the correct measurements. Because I'm making 5 pairs of these pants when I get the pattern ready and everything. Yeah, isn't that weird, Angie? That they do it in the middle of winter for windows? It's like, really? But it's just the kitchen windows, though, right? They're not doing like the whole house. Oh, have you, Joy? Well, that's cool. Maybe I'll have to look and see some of those videos. So this, go this way, is also, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 3.5 inches. Okay, so in with this, we're gonna go belt loop. I'm gonna write it on the top of this page. Belt loop, 3.5 inches by like 1 1/4. Yeah, my machine doesn't do and my brother machine that I have, I don't have a stop stitch. But if I did my other machine, my Viking, my embroidery sewing machine, that might. I'll have to look at that. Thank you, Joy. machine to see if it has a top stitch, chain stitch, chain option. I know, I'll have to look at that, Joy. Because I know my other machines, because I don't have an industrial machine. But I know my brother machine doesn't have that option at all. It has like a triple straight stitch, which I use for the top stitch a lot, but it's not a chain stitch. But that is a good idea. Seven belt loops. So I have 7 belt loops. Okay, I got it measured out. Let's set those to the side. Yeah, the twin needle will work for the belt loops. I was just thinking for like the other parts. So I had baggies out, but where did I put them? I think I put them back in my drawer last night. But I have a drawer right next to me. I don't know if I did or not. I probably did not. I put them somewhere, but anywho. I have a baggie here. And I'm just going to put my pieces in there so that they don't get lost. Okay. That took a long time. Like an hour just to get the top waistband undone and stuff. And now I need to separate the inseam, that goes the crotch seam. Remove the tag. So usually when I do top stitching, I usually end up going a lot further on most things. With the top stitching, okay, put those aside. So top stitch, 1/8 inch down. To back. Oh, you're gonna go, Angie? Okay. I know this is a little boring. It's just fine. And I bet you're cold there that they're doing those windows. Oh my goodness. I might do it as batch sewing, Joy. I'm not sure. I'm not exactly sure yet. I'm still contemplating. Okay. So with this top stitch, they did a chain stitch. I guess what I don't know. Oh, your FAF have a top stitch? Yeah, I don't have. Well, I have a FAF, but it's my old one. And I don't think that has a top stitch. Not like that, not for chain stitch. But my Husqvarna Viking sewing machine, it might. I have to go through my manual and look and see what I have. But you have a lot of industrial machines too, though, Joy, don't you? Well, some of this, though, I could do with my serger, because most of it looks like it's constructed with the serger. And everything. We did that. And that. Yeah. So, I'm thinking, like, for a lot of the construction, like the reconstruction that I would do, I would probably end up doing with my serger. Just because I have that 5-thread stitch that does the chain stitch. And it looks like it would be the wide. It wouldn't be the narrow stitch, but it would be the wide stitch. So I'm going to use 5-thread overlock stitch, wide stitch on serger. I just want to make sure I write notes down. Granted, I'm sure I'll remember. I said if I write it down, I can go back in my notes, and I may not have to rewatch my video, but I'm pretty sure I will. As boring as it will be. And then also, they have this tack down. So I want to kind of tack it down. Same spot. Tack. Zipper. Flap. Down. 1 inch. Up. And let's see, 1 inch up and 1/2 inch in. I'm going to be using, it's kind of like a denim twill type fabric. It's So it's a really similar to this kind of fabric. And then I have one that's a stretch denim that my dad picked out. And then the others are just the regular, like, denim twill type fabrics. And some of them are heavier than others. And then I have a chambray, like a denim chambray fabric. It's like a lighter weight that my dad seemed to like, that he... Okay, I gotta remember. Okay, that's not gonna like peel off. I was like, I gotta make sure I don't like pull it up too high, but this still has to stop. So that's good. I wanted to pull this apart so I could pull that apart. Yay, look at that. It's so satisfying when you get it to a point where it will just do that. It's so awesome. Okay. So yeah, they use the chain stitch, the top stitching going down. Oh, okay, Joy. That's cool. Now, there's no way I'd be able to fit a industrial machine. It would be a pain just to get downstairs. Oh my goodness. Especially here. I just kind of really like that satisfaction of pulling out that chain stitch. When it works like that, it's oddly satisfying. Alright. But then, of course, I still have this other stitch I have to unpick. Because that one can't be as easy as the chain stitch. Although I heard that you could pull out a serging stitch, kind of like that. But I've never been able to do it properly. Because you know when you get clothing and the seam, like the thread comes undone. And if you pull it, it just pulls the whole seam apart. I know I get a little like scatterbrained sometimes and decide to start unpicking a different area. It's just it's like, oh, well, let's try this spot instead. Maybe that would make it better. Because me unpicking from, let's see, this does make it better. Doing it this way over the other way. There we go. All right. Now I'm gonna need to undo this. Undo the zipper. Like unstitch it. Hi, Carol. Good to see you. I know I have not been on in a while. I'm just deconstructing a pair of cargo shorts that I got from my dad so I can make him some new pairs. Because he asked me if I would make him some new pairs of shorts. And then I told him, I'm like, well, I looked at my patterns. I'm like, I don't have the right pattern that would work for this. So I told him, well, you give me a pair of your old worn out pairs that you're okay with being torn apart, that I can use to deconstruct and to use as a pattern for a new pair, for the new pairs. That'll help. And so he brought over a pair, and when he brought it over, I let him go through my bag of fabric. Well, I have like a million bags of fabric, but the bag that has my denim and stuff in it, we went through that, and I showed him what I had, and we picked out 5 different fabrics. So he'll have 5 different pairs. I joked with my dad, I'm like, yeah, we could do some overalls for you. and make them into cargo shorts, overalls. He's like, no, my overall days are behind me. Oh, really? Huh. Well, this is like an olive green, but there's a little bit of it, but I don't know. It's like small little pieces. Never done that. I know some people save it too to use as for hand stitching stuff also. Yeah, it gives me something to do, Carol. Making pants for my dad. But sometimes I sit and think, I'm like, well, I could make this and this and this. But, you know, kind of for me, I'd rather be making something for somebody else. You know, because then it's not filling up my closet per se. And it's making good use of my fabric cord because, yes, I have a lot of fabric. I collect fabric. But man, the reasons is because I see it at the thrift stores and I decide that I need to get it because it's a really, really good price. Seriously, it's a great price for the kind of fabric that it is. Now, prices have like gone up even more. But when I got the fabrics, like I think some of them was 2019 and others were 2020 and then 2021. But some of them, I don't write the date that I got them. And then some of them I did. But, you know, I have the price on them of what I paid. So, like, really, really good prices. Compared to going to the actual store and picking up denim from like Joann's or whatever. And granted, I could go to other stores and pick up denim and stuff. It doesn't have to be Joann's. Yeah, anything to do with sewing. Well, for me, it's like anything to do with crafting. Oh my goodness. I have so much craft stuff. And like the, oh, cool. So I was just looking at this and it looks like when they did this, they did it so that you would sew on the part. And so you don't have like this weird, like if you're doing, let me show you something. So if you take, like on some pants, you go down, but they have this like little like, I guess some of them, I don't know if that makes sense. Like you have the pants, you know, if I turn this around, look, No, that just makes it look weird to me. I don't know if it makes it look weird to you or not. But like when you're cutting out pants, you got that weird little jut like that you're cutting out. Well, this, you have that, but it's just, you have that. So you're taking that little piece like this. You're taking that and you're sewing it onto that or whatever. I don't know if that makes sense or not. That's what it looks like to me. I guess I will see if my theory is correct when I get further into it. Well, that's good to know. All right. All right. Set that side for a minute. Still got to decide what pair I'm going to keep whole and the other pair I'm going to take apart. What side. For this one, I know I have to take this flap off. You got a double stitch there. Okay. Looking at this, they made sure it was straight, but they've got a little bit of excess on the side there. And it doesn't look like they did a chain stitch on this top stitching part. Now, you guys would probably really think I'm a fabric hoarder if you saw how much fabric I had. You guys would probably be like a little overwhelmed, maybe. Because I have a lot of fabric. Okay. So I'm going to take this and try to go along here with my seam ripper. And actually, you know, and I can move my camera if I need to. I could put it on the side of me if need be. But having it in front of me sometimes is better. Oh, he's a little loud up there. I don't know if you guys can hear my kids yelling. I'll probably go for about another half hour. Maybe I'll have enough of this unpicked that it'll work out good. because I want to do all of my unpicking on camera. I know that's weird, but I need to be able to watch what I did. See my process, my thinking through everything. But I think when I put things together, it'll possibly be the pockets first when I do that. And then it will probably go to the zipper area. Well, yeah, so it'd be the back pocket. Well, pockets don't have anything to do with the zipper area. But yeah. But pockets, zipper. So the zipper was sewn into this flap piece. And then the flap piece was sewn down onto this. Okay. Well, so zipper piece was sewn on. This was sewn on. But of course they do the top stitching, and the top stitching for the zipper flap isn't a chain stitch like it was for the waistband. But it'll be okay, because if I just go like this, possibly. Because it looks like this piece was serged just as a precautionary thing. And then this other piece was sewn on there, but it wasn't serged before it was sewn on, probably to reduce bulk. So they sewed it together and then top stitched it down. Okay. And I know I'll have to take the flap off the other pair, off the other side, because you got that flap that covers up the zipper. So to protect the men, you know, keep that modesty there, just in case their zipper comes undone or something. All right, so we've got this piece here. That I can lay down on the fabric, or I can make a pattern piece out of it too. Either way, and either just lay it down on the fabric as it is. I would obviously probably iron it before doing that, or I could just make a paper pattern piece out of it type thing. Either way, it doesn't matter. But yeah, it looks like they serged the side here, left this other side raw. Trying to think, would they sew this piece on? Probably sewed it onto the pants first and then sewed the zipper piece on. Either way. But yeah, and then they did the top stitching here with that. And that's where they attached it. Okay. And then we'll take this other side apart. Okay. No, they did it from the leg up. Dang it. What I mean by that is when they did this chain stitch serging, they did it from the bottom up. And the legs don't, like the seam around the hem doesn't look like it was done with the chain stitch. But I know in factories and stuff, when they make things, sometimes they're past like an assembly line type thing. So you have one person that does like one section, like they would do part of the pocket. Then they pass it to the next person and they do another part. And then they pass it to the next person that would do like the zipper portion. And then the next person would do the other part. You know, like a whole pair of pants in a assembly line factory isn't going to be like the one pair isn't going to be completed by just the one person. It's going to be completed by multiple people in that assembly line. Like they have like a certain assignment type thing as they go. Because say someone may not want to, they don't like sewing pockets. So they have one person that enjoys sewing pockets. And that's what they do. They sew the pocket pieces. And then there's someone that specializes in the zipper insertion. Because some people don't like sewing zippers. Then you have the next person that will sew the legs together and the waistband together and sew on the belt loops and all that. And do the buttonhole and put the buttons on. So yeah, the whole assembly line. Like for me, I might do like the assembly line portion, but I will like sew, well, probably not actually. I'm just kidding. Because all the fabrics are different colors. Unless I just do a standard color for all 5 pairs. Like if I just did like, okay, well, this is the color that these are going to be for everything. That's an idea. I'll have to contemplate on what I want to do with that. Do I want to try to kind of match the colors to the fabric? Or do I just like not worry about it? And no, what would be really cool is making a green pair of these for my dad. Because I have, why I would think of that, I don't know. But I have a pair, I have some green fabric. As if I still have some. I think I had a whole bolt. I might still have some of that green fabric that I've made my green pants out of. But I don't quite remember. It might all be gone. I might have used it all. That would be cool. Making them a green pair of shorts, kind of like the Jolly Green Giant. But no. I offered to make him a yellow pair, and he said no. So I'm going to use it probably for a jacket or something for me, a coat. Granted, by the time I get the yellow coat done, it'll start to warm up and I won't need it. But it will sure come in handy next winter. And it will probably be out of the same fabric that I have my other coats that I wear made out of. Because I like that pattern and it fits well. And when I make something that fits well and I like it, it's something that I like to make. Like if I don't like the way something fits per se as much, I tend to not want to make it again. Okay, got that hem undone, that seam. just love the way that works. All right. And then just go along with this other seam. Then I'm not having to cut the whole seam. Because I don't know. I've never been able to get like a actual serging seam to like come unraveled by itself. Not like you can a chain stitch. Yeah, I know, Joy. It's because they're specialized in that one step of the process, I think. And yeah, they are super fast. It just goes zoop, and they pass it on to the next person. Now, my mother-in-law, my husband's mom, she used to work in like a sewing machine factory. Like, well, a sewing factory. Not a sewing machine, but a sewing factory. Yeah. Mr. Green Jeans. I get buffering on my phone. Yeah, I love that it unravels. Like, YouTube seems to be doing fine. But all right, so for this part, so look how awesome that is. So it's just a straight shape. That means I can just take the serger and just serge that section without having to worry about zipping around like a little fly front thing, because then the fly front is going to be, it'll be just attached and then flipped around and top stitched, and you'll have a little zipper there, and then you'll have a top stitch there. Yeah, that'll be great. Now I need to undo this pocket, because before I can actually unstitch this side seam, I have to have the pocket unstitched. And of course they use that horrid Velcro. I don't know if I'll do Velcro on it, but I might. I have Velcro. I do have like sewing Velcro that I could use as the portion of the pockets on the pants if I wanted. But I'm pretty sure my dad wants the flaps I know he definitely wants the pockets. And the pockets will be interesting to make. Looks like it's like all one piece for the most part. They have some like turns and stuff here. But yeah. Unpicking this part probably isn't my favorite. Let's see. Doing it from the back may be easier. You know, just a thought. You have to like kind of rip each of those threads as you go. It's hard to believe it's taken this long just to get this far of unconstructing these. Like it's almost 2 hours. Maybe because I wrote a lot of information down. Definitely not my favorite. Oh yeah, definitely joy. Sewing at home and not in a factory. Well, then you can take your time and, you know, do what you need to do. Oh, hi, William. You went thrifting again? What did you buy? Do tell. I know you'll probably show it tonight on your live, but we want the inside scoop. We want to know what you got yourself into. And yes, William, I am taking apart a pair of pants. The cargo shorts that I showed on my Friday Sews video as my next project. That is what I'm taking apart. Because I want to be able to look at it and see like what it looks like. Granted, I'm not taking this whole other side apart. I will have to take apart the zipper piece. But I don't have to. You went downtown and bought fabric. So did you go to Mr. Modello fabric shop? Oh yeah. I take a potty break. You know, I thought about going to the thrift store the other day. And guess what? I talked myself out of it. I haven't been to the thrift store this week. What a shock, huh? I'm trying to be good. Because sometimes I look at my account and I'm like, ooh, that's scary. Oh, I bet he was. Oh, thrifting? I'm trying to be good. I look at my credit card and I'm like, oh, that's getting scary. It's like, because I don't work outside the home. I'm a at-home parent type thing. So I take my kids to school and I pick them up. And I rely on my husband's money to pay all the bills. Like, I make money when I do commissions and alterations and stuff. But that's not a whole lot because I don't do that very often. A couple years ago, I used to do DoorDash and Uber and stuff, and I made a good amount with that. But I haven't done that in a couple years either. But it's kind of hard to do when my husband was gone. But he will be gone for a month next month. He's home right now, but he's leaving again. Got to go on orders to go back to Texas for a month. Well, see, and I was going to stop by the thrift store the other day, but the thrift store closes at 8. And it was like 7:50. Hi, Beth. Good to see you. So it was like 7:50 at night. And I was running up to my sister's to take her some pizza rolls for her kids and some bread. And I also picked up some apples. But, you know, I could have bypassed the grocery store and just gone up to the thrift store and walked around for a couple minutes and looked. And no, I went and I bought the groceries that I needed to get from the grocery store for my sister because she's really sick. They have the flu and COVID. And she had called me the other day and asked if I would take them some food. I think that was Thursday. So I did. But the thrift store was closing in like 5 minutes. So there's no way that they are going to let me in the store. And Wednesday, my kids get out of school early. And what was I doing Wednesday? Well, my daughter was home too. My 9-year-old. Why was she home, do you ask? Well, on Thursday, she was home too, all day. Well, she was naughty at school and got suspended. So she was out of school on Wednesday and Thursday and went back on Friday. So she went to school on Monday and Tuesday. But I guess Tuesday she had a bad day. But see, my son couldn't go to school on Monday and Tuesday. Yep. So Beth, my so-called life, but his name is William or Will. Hi. What's going on?
Open hand.
Yeah, in a little bit. They close it. They stop taking orders at 12:45. I'm just trying to get all of this deconstructed before I stop. Yep.
Are those the new or those ones that he dropped off for you to fix?
Yes, they're the ones he dropped off so I could deconstruct them to make his new ones. Alright. What I'm taking apart right now is the pocket flap. That's interesting. Okay. So the pocket flap on this is kind of interesting. I was thinking with the pattern I would have to do like a cut 4 pieces and stitch it together and flip it type thing. But it doesn't have a seam down this edge. So what I am doing is I am deconstructing this so that I can use the pieces as a pattern. So I'm making some new pants for my dad. I got some, my dad asked me if I would make him some new cargo shorts. Well, there's a couple holes in the fabric.
I've had those for years, though.
Yeah, it's got little Velcro pieces. And I'll probably end up, let's just go ahead and put this in my baggie here. These pieces have already been taken off the thing. I've got a plastic bag here on the side that I'm putting pieces in as I go, so I can use them as like measurements and the pattern pieces. Because when I made a denim jacket for a friend, what I did is I actually went and I purchased the 5X denim jacket. It was like $20 at the time, which is crazy to think. But I purchased the jacket so that I could take it apart and use it as a pattern piece to make the jacket for my friend. Because I couldn't find a pattern that would go big enough. That's the thing. Because they don't generally make like the big 4 patterns. Yeah, I'm sure I could have bought it as a PDF type pattern that I'd have to print out and everything. But that would have cost over $20 to buy that PDF. And then to and I couldn't find one that I liked. But to get the PDF and sew it, well, paper piece it together, because you'd have to piece all the pieces of paper together and then cut it all out. And so you've got the cost of the tape and the paper and the pattern and the printer ink. And then you have the yeah, it is a double art project. But then you have the other stuff, you know. And I decided that it was just easier to find one that the lady would be happy with. Which she is. She was. And then if they need made again, I actually have the pattern pieces. Like I actually traced the pieces onto my pattern paper, and so that I can construct it. And then I also have I can use instructions from the Simplicity pattern to construct it together if I need to. Yeah, it does take a lot of time. Like this unpicking has taken over 2 hours to get to the point that I've gotten. And I really don't have a lot to show for what I've unpicked. It is a lot. I'm going to do it like this. I didn't think of that before. It's like cutting both threads at the same time. What a concept. As long as I'm careful and I don't cut myself. Hi, Denley. Good to see you. I am deconstructing a pair of cargo pants so that I can use the pieces as a pattern to construct some new cargo pants for my dad. So I asked him if he would bring me over a worn out pair because he wants me to make him some new cargo pants, and I didn't have the proper pattern that I would be happy with, like making them for him. And doing this, it's going to get them to the size that his other ones are. And so I will finish undoing that pocket piece later. And then this is the other pocket piece, which looks like a lot of fun. So basically, you're going to take and stitch around this part to make the little pleats. And then you've got this, and you've got this little pocket thing here. And then you've got these other pieces to make it expand a little bit. So yeah, this pocket is going to be interesting. And then I have this pocket piece here. And then that pocket piece there. So the side pockets are different from the back pockets. And then the inside has regular pocket, like pocket lining stuff, which I was kind of looking through some stuff and I'm like, I don't know where I put my white pocket lining stuff like this, because I've used it before to make some pants for my son, but I don't know if I have any more of that. So, which I should be unstitching this piece here. But yeah, that's actually got like the double stitch there. These will be some interesting pockets. Okay. That's good. It's good to see how they construct things and whatnot. Because I want to make it as close to what he already has. then I don't know if the seam here is going to be that way. It is. Oh, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? I love being able just to take a chain stitch seam when I'm unpicking something and just pull it up. Although those little side tacks do get in the way sometimes here. And my dad asked me to make him some pants, so... And I have the fabric. Fabric's not an issue. He picked out 5 pieces of fabric that he would like out of like 10. I even had a pink fabric that had like paisleys and stuff on it. I'm like, wouldn't that look cool, Dad? He's like, no, thank you. That's like, it's not his cup of tea or whatever, you know? It's not what he's interested in. I had a yellow fabric that I'm like, well, that one would look cool. And he's like, no, it's too bright. He didn't want to look like the man with the yellow hat from Curious George, because it's that yellow bright. It's a yellow denim, but it's very nice. Kind of like the yellow that you had, William. And then my daughter is like, oh, that's bright. That's horrid. I'm like, no, it's perfect. It's beautiful. And so I told her I was going to, I'm like, well, that makes it perfect, because then I'm going to use it for a coat or something. And then I can go around wearing it. Hi, Stacy. And go around wearing the yellow coat when I get it made. Which probably won't be till next year. Well, like next winter. I can't say next year. That would be too long. It starts getting cold sometimes in October. Because it's going to start to warm up. But, you know, it'll be time to start looking at possibly I don't know why it has to do that. It'll be time to start looking at making a new coat anyways, because, you know, you wear them so long and they start to wear out. And I definitely have gotten good use out of my 2 coats that I've made that I use. This just does not want to cooperate with me. This piece is not coming undone like I wanted it to. Don't have the satisfaction of pulling the seam out like I wanted. Oh well. So it's like the top stitching seam is what it is. Well, yeah, one of them. Take this over here, get that started. Like he took, and like when it was done, it was, maybe they ran out of thread or something, I don't know. And they had to have I taken stuff apart before? I have taken a denim jacket apart before to use as a pattern piece. Because I did the purple denim jacket. Because I bought a black denim, but that's what they had. You know, I wouldn't care what color it was when I'm using it as a pattern piece type thing. But my friend wanted a denim jacket made, and I didn't have the pattern. Yeah, thanks, Carol. You've never been brave enough to like tear something apart and remake it? Well, see, this, it was starting to get like bare, like it was starting to wear thin on the front pieces, like right here and stuff. Oops. I'm like trying to show you on my phone. Silly me. But like it's starting to wear out. So my dad needed a new pair, and I looked at all my patterns, and I didn't have the pattern that I would like to use. And I decided that the best option would be for him to provide a pair that he was okay with me deconstructing to make him a new pair. Well, I guess 5 new pairs, because that's what it's going to be, is 5 new pairs. Always takes so long to deconstruct stuff. So very long. Okay. You look at it, they sewed it up, serging stitch, then they folded it over right there on the stitch, and then they did a top stitch and a top stitch right along the edge. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to, you know, call it a stream and get off and take a break. But don't worry, I won't do much more of this without streaming it because I need to see it for me to watch if I get confused. So I can bore everybody. Yeah, good to see you too, Carol. So, I think I'm going to stop there. So I was able to get a couple pieces undone, you know, and I will finish deconstructing it on my next live, which I might come back on later today. Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys all so much for joining me. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay creative, and I will chat with you next time. Bye.